Hey y'all, this is Healing Honey, and today we'll be talking about how you deserve this shit. So, originally, my wife was reading this book and she got all the jewels and information that she needed from it, so she passed it on to me. And I have been reading this book for almost over a month now. I am towards the end of the book now. So I just wanted to let y'all know what I have gained from the book and what I had got from the book. So, two chapters we'll be talking about today. The first chapter that we'll be talking about is giving yourself permission to be a beginner. What do I mean? Sometimes in life, we don't even try to go after things or try to attempt something new because we're a beginner. We think that, oh, I'm a beginner, I can't get to this certain spot, or I can't reach that level of success like this other person. But you have to realize, for that person to even be the best or the greatest in whatever they do, they had to give themselves the permission to be a beginner. They had to start out as a beginner. They had to make a lot of failed attempts to even be in the spot where they're at right now. So I want to read a little quote or a little sentence from the chapter. It says, I thought about when my time on this planet is up. I thought about how I would hate to have lived with any regrets. I knew that if I didn't give this whole music thing a go, it would slowly get to me. It would make me ask, what if? I never want to ask what if in life. Whether I succeed or fail, I would much rather try so I can live without wondering what would have happened if I went for it. So a lot of times in life, we don't even attempt to do something because it's not in our comfort zone. It's not part of the norm. It's not something that other people in our family have done. So we have no examples. We have no one to look up to. But you have to realize, if you're doing something that's never been done before, of course you're not going to have people in your bloodline that may have not did it before. You have to do something that, okay, I have this goal, let me take a risk on myself. So within this book, I feel like the author was showing not only these are the tools that you can use to get to where you want to go, but his life experiences, what he had to go through, and what he had to overcome for him to get to where he's at. So another chapter that I think is very important in this book is called Complexity, a True Sickness. So in life, it's easy for us to become comfortable in where we're at because we've been doing it so long, we think it's normal. We've been doing the same routine, the same habits, the same thing over and over again. And because we're comfortable, because, oh, I've been doing this and it's been doing me right since, so let me continue to do it. But you're not seeing any growth. You're not seeing you elevate in any type of way. You see you doing this constant routine and habits, but you're not growing in any type of way. You're still at the same level. You're still at the same pace. So you have to realize, yes, this routine and these habits may be working for this time being, but for me to elevate, for me to become greater and better, and for me to reach the best version of myself, I'm going to have to do something different. I'm going to have to take a risk on myself. I'm going to have to do something outside of my comfort zone. So within this chapter, another line that I like in this chapter would have to be, okay, this is the sentence. I felt protected by my paycheck. However, I truly didn't feel happy about how I was spending my time. I discovered that working in the mortgage industry wasn't fulfilling my purpose of living a creative and adventurous life where I could encourage others to be the best versions of themselves. So he got used to making a certain amount of money each month. He was comfortable in making that amount of money. He said that was the most money he's ever made. So he thought he was doing good because how big his paychecks was. So he was in this mortgage job, going to this mortgage job every day. He was making the money, but he wasn't happy. He wasn't truly fulfilled. So this is showing you, okay, you're comfortable with the payment. Okay, you're comfortable with the job, but you're not truly happy. You're not truly at where you desire to be at. He knew that it was greater for him. He knew that it was more out there for him. So he decided, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take a risk on myself. I'm going to take a leap of something that I want to do, regardless if he knew what the outcome was going to be, regardless if he couldn't see what the next step was. He said, I'm going to choose to take a risk on myself and take a leap at my dreams, my goals, and my desires. We can have all the dreams, goals, and desires we want to have, but if we're not putting in the work, if we're not taking the risk, then they're pointless. One of my favorite quotes is, the richest place on earth is the cemetery, because so many hopes, dreams, and desires die with people. They never take the risk. They never have the courage. They never have the ability to switch their minds to know that it's possible to do it. All it takes is for you to start. No one said that when you first start something, it's going to be perfect. No one said when you first start something, it's going to be easy. But how would you ever know if you don't ever take a risk on yourself? If you don't ever take that step, how would you know that, oh, I can't do that? Because it sounds like you're already doubting yourself. You're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting your goals. You're not trusting your desires. If you have a desire to do something, that means you have the ability to do it, because if you didn't have the ability to do it, you wouldn't even have the desire to do it. So we have to realize that it takes us stepping out of our comfort zone to do something different. It takes us stepping out of our comfort zone for us to get more out of life, for us to reach our goals. It takes us doing and becoming something different. And it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen within your comfort zone, and it's not going to happen if you continue to do the same routine, patterns, and habits. You have to start changing how you are mentally, and once you change how you are mentally, your whole life will change. Everything starts with you knowing that you have the power and the ability to live out your dreams and desires. But you first have to take the first step and say that I'm not going to take normal. I'm not going to take what everyone else is doing. I want to be a millionaire. I'm going to watch the millionaires. I'm going to read about the millionaires. I'm going to read about successful people. I'm going to listen to audiobooks that's talking about wealth. I'm going to listen to audiobooks that's talking about millionaires. So we have to know that there are tools out there for us to get to where we desire to be. But if we don't take that first initial risk or first initial step, then we're not going to get there. Yes, you can have all the goals and desires, but if you're not putting any action, nothing's going to happen. You have to start putting in the groundwork. You have to start putting in the actual intention behind everything you do. We live life, and sometimes we don't have attention. For the most part, a lot of people don't have attention when they're doing things. Think about it. People go to work every day in the same routine. You're not thinking about anything but your house, or you going out for that weekend to get relaxed. So if you constantly are doing the same thing, you're not going to think anything is wrong with it, because it's normal to you. It's your normal routine. So you have to start doing things that's different. For example, if you say you want to be wealthy, you want to be a millionaire, how about you start going to the environments where the millionaires are? How about you start going to free lectures, what millionaires can do and how you can become a millionaire? It's literally free workshops out there where you can go and listen to a millionaire talk, or listen to a real estate person talk, it's so many things that you can do to get close to this energy. You first have to embody the energy. You have to know that you have the ability to be at where you desire to be at, which is where they are, or even higher. You have to first start knowing, let me start putting myself in these rooms. Let me start dressing different. Let me start thinking different. Let me start doing all these things to become the person that I know I'm truly am. Because if you was not already that, then you wouldn't have the desire. I truly believe millionaires are millionaires not just because of the money, but because of their mindset, because of their energy. A millionaire is not thinking about where the next paycheck is coming. A millionaire is not thinking about if they're going to eat tonight. A millionaire knows. They know that everything is working out. They know that all their needs and desires are provided for. They know that all their bills are going to get paid. The switch from lack mentality and lack energy to abundance mentality and abundance energy. Our natural state is abundant, regardless of the paper money. Our natural state is abundant. It is abundant all around us. The trees you see outside is abundance. The water that we have is abundance. So everything that you desire to be, you have the ability to be that. But you have to first start taking the steps to get there. And it's not going to happen overnight. And you may have to do some things you don't want to do, but if you truly want your goal, if you truly want that dream to become true, then you're going to have to do the things that other people don't want to do. You're going to have to wake up early. You're going to have to probably change the way that you're eating, because I've never seen a wealthy person not be healthy. Health is wealth. Wealth is health. So it's like, if I'm desiring this one thing, then I'm going to have to do all the habits to get to this place. We want to get to the destination, but we don't want to do the work to get to the destination. That's like wanting to drive to New Orleans, but you want to get to New Orleans, but you don't want to drive to New Orleans. You don't want to fly to New Orleans. Then how are you going to get there? You have to do some type of footwork for you to get there, for you to get in the room, for you to get in the state, for you to get to the city. You're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to take a risk on yourself. When was the last time you took a risk on yourself? When was the last time you truly trusted yourself? Because when you trust yourself, you're going to know that you have the ability to do anything you desire to be and be anything you desire to be. So I'm letting you know you have the power and ability within yourself to reach your goals. And it's okay to be a beginner. I was a beginner when I first started out doing nails. And baby, all my nails was not so beautiful. But I allowed myself to make mistakes. I allowed myself to mess up. That's what life is about. Life would be so boring if we didn't fail. Life would be so boring if we didn't make mistakes. That's what it's all about, for us to learn. So why don't you give yourself a chance? Why don't you take a risk on yourself? Why don't you trust yourself and say, I got the power to do this. It doesn't matter if everyone else can't see it happening. It doesn't matter if they can't see the vision. It's not their vision, it's yours. So you have to know that you have the power to be who you desire to be. Give yourself the permission to be a beginner. And know that complacency is a sickness. Staying in the same spot is a sickness, because you don't want to grow. You don't want to elevate. You don't want to do something different. And because you're comfortable, you're going to stay there. Because you're used to it, you're going to stay there. Because it's all you know, you're going to stay there. You think it's okay, but it's not, because you know that it's more within you. Are you truly being the best version that you can be? Or are you just comfortable with life? It's literally people who's been in the same neighborhood they was raised in, and they're now in their 40s. You don't want something different. You don't want something new. You don't want something exciting. You don't want to travel. You don't want to do something different. So we have to know that we have the power. We have the power to be anything that we desire to be. But first, we have to give ourselves the chance to be it. If we never give ourselves the chance to be it, how can we become it? We give everyone else chances. How about you give yourself a chance? So I'm gonna give y'all the name of the book again. You deserve this shit because you do. You deserve all the goodness in life. You deserve all the wealth in life. You deserve all the healing in life. You deserve all the abundance and travel in life. You deserve this shit. But first, you gotta realize that you deserve this shit. The author of this book is called Jordan Trevor. If y'all want to get this book, I highly recommend that y'all get this book. And this is not paid promotion. I will be ordering other books from this author soon in the near future. But I thank y'all. This is Healing Honey. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. Don't let no one take y'all joy. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are enough. And you are powerful. If y'all like my videos, please like and subscribe. I love y'all. Till next time. Peace.